back. Hello Wolfpack. We're analysing ICP, Internet Computer Coin. We released a poll in our Telegram group between Cosmos, Tezos and Internet Computer Coin, and this was the winner just by a couple of votes. So that's very close. We've had this in our polls a few times and it's finally pulled through, so we're finally getting a video on ICP. As you guys would know who follow the channel already, I don't only analyse coins that I like. And this will be evident in this video. Just a quick kind of alert. I don't like ICP. I don't think ICP, I like the fundamentals, I'll tell you that, but I don't like, I don't have high hopes of this in terms of price and TA, and there's a few reasons to that, including some dodgy dealings behind the scenes from ICP, but we'll get to that later in the video. So if you're looking for confirmation bias on your opinion about how ICP is going to go back to its all-time high in 10x, this isn't the place for you. If you want a conflicting opinion to yours, watch this video. And if you want to just know what's happened with ICP and why it's dropped 99% in a matter of a couple of weeks, well then watch this video as well. So basically ICP, we've got the website up, we've got the Internet Computer, and essentially the Internet Computer is the product from the Dfinity Foundation, which kind of focus on decentralizing the internet at a very, very fundamental level. We can see they've made some big claims. It's been a project full of big claims, and that's why it's attracted such large amounts of institutional investments, which makes it even more interesting as to why it dropped 99% in a matter of a couple of days. But we can look here. We said 2009, cryptocurrency's first invention here, which was cryptocurrency, and Bitcoin being the role of digital gold. 2015, smart contracts was the second invention, which was Ethereum, which powered the upspring in the DeFi movement, DeFi, decentralized finance. And we have 2021, in which they're claiming to be kind of the third big invention in the cryptocurrency space, with blockchain. And their kind of quote here is reimagine how you build everything. So this is focusing around smart contracts, making them widely available, and basically building this internet computer, which they claim to be. And that's amazing. And they have their website here. They've got a very fancy looking website. All of their interesting things about the coins and stuff like that. Dfinity Foundation, they've got all of their professional looking team here, and I think this is kind of one of the things that have led to such a big kind of crash. Is it all looks like a perfect setup, doesn't it? And if we look here, we can actually get into this a little bit here. We can actually see on the weekly chart on the Binance, the exchange, ICP released into the market in early May. And granted, in the defense of ICP here, this was probably the worst time you could ever release a coin into the market, sparing a few days in cryptocurrency history. It was a couple of days before Bitcoin begun its drop, around 50 to 60% from 64k to 30k over the course of a month. And this was a few days before the big drop, in which all coins dumped a massive amount, but ICP obviously dumped a lot more, and that was due to external factors as well that I'm going to get into. But this is not natural. Sometimes we see things like this happen with coins that just come into the market, but it's for very natural reasons, and this is not natural at all. And we can see that before we get into any of the allegations, we can see that the project, so basically in the Internet Computer and what Dfinity started to do, was founded in 2016 by Dominic Williams. It attracted notable interest from the cryptocurrency community. Dfinity raised $121 million from contributors, financial firms in the cryptocurrency space, such as Polychain, Aspect Ventures, Electric Capital, Multicoin Capital, and several notable early Ethereum supporters. So obviously that's a bit vague, but the point is, it attracted massive institutional investments. These are companies with teams of analysts, inspecting vigorously the coins, not the coins, but anything they invest in before they invest in it, which kind of gives me reason to believe that this was kind of orchestrated, this 99% drop, and expected by these companies, by these people, and potentially they actually sold into it as well, dumping on the retail investors. So very, very dodgy. That's all I can say about this so far. And we can see that we have a lawsuit And this is just one of many things here that would be kind of prohibiting me from actually considering investing in ICP. We'll get into the TA later in the video, what's left of it at least, but we can see Decrypt released an article, and this is regarding a lawsuit that ICP faces for allegedly selling an unregistered security, which for reference is very similar to the lawsuit XRP is currently facing. Within this lawsuit, it's been mentioned multiple times here by Arkham Intelligence, who recently published a report on Dfinity's native token, ICP, after the big crash, and essentially have been calling out here that, hey guys, look, this isn't normal. Something's happened here behind the scenes. They did an intense investigation into what actually happened. And what they found is, we can see Arkham identified 2 billion in ICP tokens were transferred to cryptocurrency exchanges by probable insider addresses. The lawsuit alleges that 469 million ICP tokens that were made available during the ICP Genesis launch event were created out of thin air and sold in violation of the 1933 Securities Act. So this is massive allegations here by Arkham Intelligence, which kind of, makes sense. It essentially claims, just to briefly analyze, someone behind the scenes, it could have been the founder, it could have been anyone, it could have been a massive coordinated event with all of these institutional investors, minted 469 ICP tokens and sold them, just in the days after the launch. And so effectively cashing out and dumping on every single investor who, believed in the project. And you got to ask yourself, is this the kind of thing you want to be invested in? In an email, we can see here, in defense, a Dfinity spokesperson, who wasn't named, called the Arkham report ludicrous and a very poor source of information. All right, this is ridiculous. That's all I've got to say there. What's ludicrous is the 99% drop in a matter of days, not the report calling you out on your crap, quite frankly. And a very poor source of information. Well, the information existed. They didn't make it up. Arkham Intelligence is not making up these allegations. That would be very, very, a grey area in terms of legalities. There's got to be some sort of, there could be an explanation. There could be an honest explanation here. It's possible, but, it's not looking very good for Dfinity. And when all they have to say is the report's ludicrous and kind of brush it off over their shoulders, you can't have much faith in this. But that's just what it is, I guess. People, companies like this aren't allowed to just speak openly about what happened. They have to go through a whole legal brigade before they can do that, which is understandable. But the fact of the matter is that ICP will never reach its all-time high again. All right. And if you don't understand market cap, if you don't understand what I just read, basically these guys minted 469 million ICP tokens. Okay. They've completely decimated the supply. They've completely decimated circulating supply. They've completely decimated what the price can actually be in the future. This price is never going back to 3,100 as it was back in May. It's never going back there, I can tell you that much. In order for ICP to go back to 3,100, we can see it's already 17th on the market cap, global market cap ranking. This would have to be 50x to 100x the size of Bitcoin if it went back to its original price. I'm going to go ahead and say, and I don't like saying this very often, that's impossible. That's not going to happen. And that could be the fault of, essentially what I'd consider some sort of, I wouldn't say a rug pull because they're still developing the product, but, something similar to that, in which they've just cashed out a significant portion of money for no explainable reason and left, investors broke, essentially. And you wouldn't expect that from a company this big, with a team this big and the website, the lovely looking website and all the institutional money. And this is one of the reasons why I think what's happened is so despicable in ICP, because it's very unpredictable and it seems like it's just straight market manipulation. But we can dive into the TA, what's left of it, as I said before. ICP, was in a descending wedge here. Surprise, surprise, it didn't break out of a descending wedge to the upside, even though it's a typically bullish formation. Just kept dropping, and it found its bottom here at around 27 or 26 USD. We found that, so we've double bottomed there. As you can see, we can draw that double bottom. We have some remnants of TA in which we've made a double bottom. We made a move up in the coming days as Bitcoin recovered. What's interesting here is Bitcoin started to recover in mid-July here for ICP, but we actually entered a downwards trend, which is kind of interesting to note. But it was some sort of triangle. We broke out to the upside, and now we've kind of formed this new resistance zone here at $73, $72, in which we're fighting to get above. Now, it is hard to say where I think ICP will go next, because it's not certain. We have lawsuits going on with ICP. We have, a massive amount of hate coming from the cryptocurrency community. The TA has not progressed enough at all. We've only been in this range here for, about a month or two. So we have no real idea about where our resistance zones are, where our support zones are, at least on a logical level, because we don't actually know whether these support zones and resistance zones were made with the current supply. So we don't know if they're achievable to get to. Basically, it's just the whole ICP investments right now. It's just a big gamble because we don't know where anything is. All we know for sure on ICP, all I can tell you for sure, is we have resistance at 139, we have resistance at 100, and we have resistance at 72, and we have support at 26. We had a double bottom, and we've broken out of a triangle to the upside. We're currently testing that $73 resistance zone. That's all I can say for certain. Anything else is just speculation. We look at the Bitcoin pair, and we've got nothing here, nothing of interest. It's just the same thing. We've just broken down and flatlined. So nothing to say about the Bitcoin pair. We've got barely anything to say about the daily chart. All we can say about ICP is if there's an honest explanation, that's great. The fundamentals look cool. The project looks nice, everything looks nice, and everything does look nice, and that's why it's kind of so sad how, it ended up like this, because everything about the project screams revolutionary, but, something's not right here, and I think that's been really, really nicely analyzed here by Arkham Intelligence, who've made this report and kind of exposed ICP here, and I hope something comes of that. If it turns out that, it was something that something honest and something that didn't involve deceit, didn't involve any sort of rug pull, that's fine. I'd be happy to invest in ICP. But even if that is the case, I still don't like investing in new coins. This coin is too new for me to invest in. I don't know where any of the support and resistance zones are. Half of the MAs haven't even formed yet. As we can see here, the 50 SMA just came into place. It's currently trading at around 51. And so that's not a very confident SMA. We can see it acted as resistance here, which is interesting because it only came into existence here on ICP due to the fact that it hasn't been around for a while on the 29th of June, and it acted as resistance throughout this whole July 24th to August 5th period. That's purely because of the fact that we didn't have any other resistance, because the chart just hasn't played out enough yet. So the 50 SMA is something to consider. If we drop down, we'll probably be bouncing off that. We can bring up the Gaussian channel. We can see that we're kind of just, ranging above the Gaussian channel right now. Volume profiling is probably something we can bring up here in ICP. We have a significant amount of buying at around 41 USD, so we probably won't be dropping below that point. But it's not really relevant for anything above 72 here because, realistically, we just haven't traded in that area for long enough to get a good understanding of what might happen if we break above it. So how do I see ICP? I see ICP as a massive, massive gamble. Even if you like the fundamentals, even if you like what they're trying to do, that can be done by other coins, other companies that haven't had this rough start. I think that once we get some clarity on what's going on with the lawsuit, it could be a potential investment that I'd be willing to make. But as of right now, it's just too risky. And I think that it's had a very rough start, and I think that when something has a rough start, it's very, very hard for it to recover, especially in a cryptocurrency market where people remember things. Now, this being said, we've risen in price, from 26 USD to 64 USD, 150%. So we've had some movement, but it's not comparable to anything we've had before in terms of that drop. Maybe what we need to do on ICP here, due to the fact that the tokenomics are, not the tokenomics, but the supply is completely, messed around with here. We need to zoom up, and we just need to forget about everything that's happened here. And that's what I'd be doing if it turns out that there was an honest resolution for this lawsuit. I'd be zooming up, and I'd be forgetting that we were ever at those high prices, because essentially it doesn't matter. We're down here now. We need to be focusing on what's going on right now. Something, dramatic happened in terms of the supply, in terms of coins being minted, that, wasn't affected by TA. It was purely a problem, something that was caused on the inside. That TA, it doesn't really matter. So we need to be zooming up if that is the case, and just thinking about where ICP is going from here. Even in that case, none of our indicators have really played out enough for us to get a good idea of where it is going. So I see it as a risk. I hope you guys kind of understand my opinion on ICP. I hope you understand that, I'm not going to be jumping onto bandwagons, and I see people jumping onto bandwagons with ICP, looking for, oh, look at this potential 1000x. I just think that a lot of people don't understand market cap. ICP is not going back to its all-time high. That's just a fact. Even in a world where ICP becomes fully adopted on a mass scale, I don't think it's going back to its all-time high. It's simply too far away. We're 17th on total market cap. ICP would have to be number one in the crypto charts by a long shot for that to happen. So please, guys, look into, the lawsuit. Keep an eye on it. I'm not saying you shouldn't invest in this coin, because I really do think the fundamentals are redeeming. I just think that we should wait for some clarity. That's my personal opinion. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Make sure to join the Telegram group if you want to be voting in some more polls, for what you guys want to see next on the YouTube channel, and also seeing regular Bitcoin updates and Ethereum updates. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one.